Alright, so I am running a Hughes and Kettner 50 watt Switchblade amp, and I am having some noise problems with a new, ISP Decimator G-string pedal, which I've recently acquired. And so I'm making this video to do a little bit of troubleshooting just to see if anyone out there has any ideas on what I can do to fix the noise. So as you can see right now, I'm on the ultra setting, which is a high gain setting. I have everything basically in a sort of control setup right now. The only thing going in is just a direct input from my guitar. There is nothing in the effects loop in the back. This is a pedal board, power supply, and my attenuator right there, which I'm going to be running at 0 decibels, so you're going to hear the true output at about a quarter volume. So just to give you an idea of how loud that is, I'm going to flick off the standby here and you'll hear the noise. Also, the guitar's volume is rolled all the way down, so this is just the system noise, no guitar. Alright, now what I've done is I've hooked up the pedal board that I usually use, no noise gate pedal. So we have from my guitar, I'm going into a Digitech whammy, then a Boss CS3 compressor sustainer, Don't Crybaby, Keeley modded DS1, Vox Time Machine, and that output is going straight into the input of my amp. There's nothing in the effects loop, and this is quite a noisy setup. So I've got my attenuator, I'll put it back up to 0, but it's really pretty loud, which is basically why I want to get this problem fixed. But we'll have a listen to that. I'll switch off the standby now. So you can see I've got quite a problem there that I need to fix. Alright, the next setup that I have is my guitar running directly into the input of my amp. There's nothing going on with this pedal board in front of me. And in the back I have the effects loop wired in, and the send is going to the guitar in on the Decimator. The guitar out is just patched directly into the Decimator in, and the Decimator out goes back into the effects return. So basically right now this is being used like a normal noise gate pedal. There's nothing being... The signal for the clamping trigger is the exact same as the signal that's being clamped. So this is just like a normal noise gate. So I'm going to turn on the amp again. The effects loop is off right now, so this should be pretty much like it was in the control case. Now I'm going to turn on the effects loop and put it in serial. So you can see that it's a little bit louder than it used to be because I have the effects loop on. And now I'm going to go over to the Decimator and I'm going to turn it on. I've set the threshold pretty high so that it should clamp. And now it's quiet. So it seems that the pedal is working the way it ought to be. The next change that I've made is that I'm using my AC power source, which is daisy chained into the rest of my pedal board over here in order to power this pedal. Previously I had just used the battery power. I used the battery fresh out of the box. So just to remind you, the guitar input is still not touching the pedal board, so these pedals are not being used in any way. it's still coming out of the effects loop all by itself. So I'm going to start with the effects loop off. And you can see that the sound is relatively the same. I'm going to turn on the effects loop now. Alright, in this next setup I've done a few changes. One of the things I've had to do is I'm using a different cable from my guitar. It's a Livewire brand cable and it's not quite as well insulated as the monsters I've been using. However, I did some checking and I made sure that under the control case it behaves similarly to the monster for now. So I'm running the guitar into my pedal board. I've had to leave the time machine out because I don't have enough patch cables right now. I'm a few short. And so the pedal board goes out and into the input of the amp, and same thing's going on in the effects loop. I've got the Decimator wired up, but this time I have the power daisy chain attached to the Decimator, but that same power chain is going to be used by the amps in my pedal board before the amps input. So I expect that I'm going to hear a 60 hertz hum between those two pedals even when the effects loop is off. So I'm going to flick it on and we'll see what it sounds like. Now it's quiet. So we've got quite a bit of a problem there, and it's been compounded because now there's a 60 hertz hum.